Alright, I keep getting guys asking me questions about fans, cooling fans. They're having overheating problems. They may have aftermarket radiators or aftermarket slimline fans like these. I've got these two right here, which are on my radiator, which is out of my car at the moment. And I have this one over here, which is just a spare. As you can see, they're kind of two different styles. If you look at the blades, how these are kind of straight and squared off, where these are kind of curved. And these right here, I have them as pusher fans. This is in front of the radiator, of course, and I have them as pushers to push the air through, mainly because I don't have any room on the other side of it. On the back side of the radiator, when it's installed, I have intercooler piping that's in the way, and a big turbo. I just don't have the room for it, so I had to have pushers. If you have slimline fans on them, thing to check for. If you have them on the front, you want to make sure you flip the blades over. And the reason why, because if you look at these fans, you can probably see a little bit easier on this one. You can see how it's kind of curved. And so when the fan blade turns, it's going to kind of scoop the air up and push it through the radiator. So normally when you get your fans, it's probably going to be made for a puller to pull the air through the radiator. And so the fan will be on there as a puller to pull it through. Once you flip it over and put it on the front, the way it's shaped, the curvature of the blade isn't going to help the air come through as well, and so it may not force the air through. The other thing is you need to make sure they're wired up correctly. If you reverse the polarity on these things, let's say if it's a puller, it may spin this way, and if you keep it if you turn it around, put it on the front, if it's spinning that same direction, it's going to be blowing air towards the front of the engine versus pulling it through. So, but if you notice what I'm talking about, as far as flipping the blades over, well, I'll show you. This one right here, it's got one little nut right here. All you have to do is take that nut off, and you can see how the curvature is right here. It just helps scoop the air up and pull it through the fan. But all you do is take off this one little nut. I think mine's like a 10 millimeter. Take that off, flip it over, put it back on, and then you can put it on the front. If you got it as a puller, more than likely you're going to be going the right direction anyways, but you still need to check the way it spins. If you look at my radiator over here, or my fans I should say, I flipped this one over. I don't know if you can tell the difference between the video, but you can see this one right here is kind of curved, and it's the wrong way, whereas this one right here is kind of going that way, whereas this one is curved this way. Maybe kind of hard to tell in the video, but I have both of these. I kind of ghetto rigged it as far as the wiring over here, but I have I have the end of my harness here that plugs into the stock harness, and I just soldered my wires over here together, and basically anytime the fans come on, I have both of them coming through. If you get a shroud, that'll help a lot, because all this area around the fans right here, air can go through, and it won't go through the fans. It'll just go straight through the water, or straight through the radiator. So fan shrouds will help because it'll keep the air going directly through the fans. I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as the polarity. My beautiful assistant here is my daughter, so she'll film for me here so I can show you what I'm talking about here. Here you go.
Thank you.
I love you too. Anyway, I've got an old battery here. The battery's kind of low on voltage anyways. You want to check your polarity when you have these things hooked up, the way it spins. Basically, if you watch the way it spins there, I've got I'll have the black wire on the positive and the blue wire on the negative. You can see it spinning that way, or it's spinning clockwise. If I flip it the other way and have the blue wire on the positive and the negative, or the black wire on the negative, it spins the opposite direction. So polarity is a big deal as far as which way it's going. Easy way to find out if you've got the polarity correct, you can just stick a piece of paper. Thank you. Stick a piece of paper up in front of the fan. It'll either suck it to the fan or blow it away, so that'll be one good indicator once you have them installed. But you may want to check the wiring and the polarity before you have them hooked up to make sure they're going the right way. Have any questions, just holler at me on YouTube or Facebook. Anyway, that's it. All right, bye-bye.